The mysterious guy led me through the cafe's side entrance and into what appeared to be the kitchen area. The kitchen was spacious and clean, furnished with a table and 4 chairs. The guy gestured for me to take a seat, and so I did. Then he sat down across from me, elegantly crossed his legs, and picked up his book.
Here you go.
Thank you. Placed before me was a plate stacked with colorful rectangular things. What is this? I looked up to find a different, more smartly dressed guy staring back at me.
It's shortbread, a traditional Scottish biscuit. They're like butter cookies, except I put my own unique little spin on it.
You made these?
Indeed, I did.
That's awesome! The butter cookies I knew were generally plain and unadorned, but this shortbread was quite the opposite. They were brightly decorated with sprinkles, sugar pearls, and powdered sugar of all different colors. That's nice. Snow helped out his brother and was like, hey, bro's got a plate full of shortbread that he couldn't get rid of. Girl's hungry. I can fix 2 problems at the same time. They were so gorgeous they looked less like snacks and more like jewelry. Can I have one?
Be my guest.
With his blessing, I took one from the plate. Then I took a bite, and... Oishi! It was so good I couldn't help but squeal in delight. This is the best cookie I've ever had! I could eat the whole plate!
By all means, please do. I'd rather someone eat them than have to throw them all away.
What? No, don't throw them away! The guy flinched and I realized I'd inadvertently shouted in his face. What are you thinking? Oh, sorry. I got a little overexcited there.
It's no problem. I must say, I was initially confused as to why Snow White brought you here, but I'm happy to have someone enjoying my treats.
He glanced over at the guy sitting across from me and I followed suit. So you're Snow White. What a lovely name. It suits you to a T. It was my honest opinion, and yet he didn't even look up from his book.
Oh, I nearly forgot to introduce myself. The name's Gretel.
Nice to meet you, Gretel. My name is... Just then a certain realization hit me. I'd completely forgotten this was Cinderella's cafe. And now here we were in the kitchen, an area that was almost certainly off limits to customers, which meant these men had to be Cinderella's employees. Otherwise, they couldn't have brought me here. Oh, that carried over. And what happened to Alice? We got separate. We went through together, but we've been separated. But she remembered the name he gave her. Interesting. Ooh, I like that. Arisu! My name's Arisu. Desperate for a pseudonym, I gave them the first thing that popped into my head. My own surname. Nice going, me. It's your surname? Eureka Arisu. What?
Alice, you say? That's a pretty name. Matches you perfectly.
Oh, you think so? Thanks. This had taken an unexpected turn. Apparently he misheard my name as Alice instead. Yay! Regardless, I decided to play along.
Alice. That's the same name as the guy upstairs.
So he's here.
Oh, that's right. He's named Alice too.
So he's still Alice. So he is Alice. I am not Alice. My name is Eureka. Does he remember anything from where we were? There's another Alice? I tilted my head in confusion. Okay, she doesn't remember. It sounded like this other Alice person was somewhere in the building.
We're renting out the rooms on the 2nd floor, you see. So far, he's our only renter, though.
Oh, interesting. So the 2nd floor is a designated living space, I take it? What's he like?
Weird. Very weird.
I see. Gretel and Snow White struck me as fairly weird themselves, so I couldn't begin to imagine how weird this other Alice must have been. So you two are brothers, right? Do you live here too?
We sure do.
Wow. And you're so young, too. So you three are all... what's the term? Tenants? I tried my best not to make it obvious that I was digging for info.
No, not exactly. Snow White and I are related to the owners, see? We're Cinderella's younger brothers and...
Cinderella's younger brothers? I leapt to my feet and nearly lunged across the table. I love how low-key we are.
Yes? What of it?
Gretel looked at me dubiously and I realized my error. Oh, sorry. Ahem. I hastily sat myself back down in my chair.
Do you know my brother, then?
Yeah, of course. He's kind of famous in these parts, you know?
More like infamous, I'd say. Infamously selfish, arrogant, and altogether unpleasant.
Loath as I was to admit it, that was exactly in line with everything Kaguya had told me. Are you really going to badmouth your own brother like that?
Oh, I think I've more than earned the right. You can have more shortbread, you know.
Gretel gestured to the plate of cookies on the table. Oh, right. Thank you. At his prompting, I took another one and bit into it. The more I ate, the drier my throat started to feel. I looked up at Gretel. Sure, this was technically his cafe, but that didn't mean I felt comfortable asking him to fetch me a drink.
Gretel, get the lady something to drink.
Startled, I whipped my head around to look at Snow White. But he was still absorbed in his book.
Oh, that's right. I apologize. It must have slipped my mind.
Gretel hurried off to the sink to put water in the kettle. No, don't apologize. I'm the one mooching here. I hastily got to my feet and stopped him. I'll make the tea for us. If you don't mind, that is.
Oh. No, go right ahead.
Thanks. I took the kettle, set it on the stove, and grabbed 3 cups from the cupboard. He did seem a little disappointed by that. Tea sense is going off, squint. A few minutes later, I poured steaming hot tea into each of the teacups. As the amber liquid descended into its porcelain constraints, the scent of citrus filled the room. What a great sentence that was.
Wow, that was fast. Clearly you've done this before.
Yeah, I drink tea all the time. What about you?
I like it as much as the average person. Can't say I make it for myself that often.
Oh, I see. Once I finish pouring a cup for everyone, I carry them over to the table. Here you are.
Thank you kindly. It's really good.
He smiled faintly. Glad to hear it. What about you, Snow White? But Snow White promptly closed his book and got to his feet. Where are you going?
To my room.
And he walked out of the kitchen without another word, leaving his untouched cup of tea behind. Did I upset him? Gretel waved a hand dismissively.
No, it wasn't you. My brother just doesn't like food, that's all.
How does he live? He doesn't like food? How can anyone not like food?
I know. It's baffling to me, too. But sadly, that's just how he is. He's never once tried any of my snacks.
It's interesting, because, Snow White's downfall is due to biting into an apple. And now we got Snow White who's just like anti-food. Curiouser and curiouser. So what does he eat then? Surely he's got to eat something. Gretel picked up his teacup and shrugged.
Couldn't tell you. He's not the kind of guy who can cook for himself, that's for sure. Oh, but I did see him eating an apple once.
Uh-huh. An apple? That's it?
That's it.
That must be why he's so small and frail looking, like a good... Before I could finish my sentence, Gretel plunked his teacup down onto the table with a thud.
As a word of warning, I wouldn't discuss Snow White's appearance too much if I were you. At least, not to his face.
Why's that?
Because it's the one thing he hates even more than food.
Even if it's a compliment?
I believe so.
But he's so pretty!
We menfolk don't really like to be called pretty, you know.
Why not? Because it's a girl thing?
Bingo.
Now that I think about it, I wouldn't really want to be called manly. But then again, I wouldn't mind if someone called me badass.
Fair, but wouldn't you rather be called pretty or cute?
Yeah, I suppose I would.
You're refreshingly honest, you know that.
Yep, life's just more fun this way. I curled my lips in a playful smirk, and Gretel grinned in kind. But that was where our peaceful little moment came to an end. I wonder who this could be. Hey! Water! Just then, the door flew open, and the overpowering stench of alcohol blew in.
You reek of booze.
And who should walk in but none other than Cinderella himself. Gretel, help me. I drank too much.
I'll pass, thanks. You brought this upon yourself.
Gretel shot a disgusted scowl at the intruder. You two really ought to learn to respect your older brother. Every time Cinderella opened his mouth, he exuded alcohol fumes.
If you want my respect, perhaps you should consider earning it. So, have all your party guests gone home now?
Yeah. Sir? Are you alright? I hadn't expected to encounter him quite this quickly, but he looked so ill that I couldn't help but worry about him. Huh? Who the hell are you? He looked at me suspiciously, and I flinched. Nothing about this had gone according to plan. I only came to observe him. I didn't mean for him to find me so soon. Oh, Should I be honest with him? Should I tell him, "Hi, I'm Eureka Arisu, and I'm here to learn more about you"? Whatever. It doesn't matter. But Cinderella didn't really seem that interested in me. Instead, he headed for the sink, clinging to the wall as he went. Wait! I grabbed him by the shoulder, but he shook me off and kept going. Then he came to a stop, clapped a hand to his mouth, and doubled over. Well, this is a great first impression. I feel sick. I'm gonna barf.
What? Here? Now?
Not in the kitchen. Of all the places. It's unsanitary, sir. I'm writing a report on you.
Disgusting.
Cinderella and Gretel sat at the table. Meanwhile, I was washing the dish rag in the sink.
You know, despite my utter lack of respect for you, I did still think of you as family at the very least. But after today, allow me to make one thing crystal clear. If I could cut ties with you, I would. On the spot, with no regrets.
Dang, Gretel got really angry. Stop. Keep your
damn voice down. My head is killing me. Oh, is it now? Then I'll skip the lecture and go straight to the punishment. Ah! Ah!
Gretel! The way things were going, Gretel's punishment was bordering on inhumane.
What are you, a monster? A demon? A sadist? Don't be silly, dearest brother of mine. I'm an angel. Angel my ass. I feel gross. Damn them and their cheap liquor.
Are you feeling any better now, at least?
No. Worse. You think you're miserable. Try being me. Then again, I do feel a bit better now that I got it all out of my system. I'm not sure that was all of it. Maybe I should beat the rest out of you myself.
Gretel cracked his knuckles, a pleasant smile on his face.
Please don't. Knowing you, you won't stop until I'm comatose.
Here, use this. I handed Cinderella my handkerchief. Frowning, he looked from me to the handkerchief and back. Then his lips twisted in a malicious grin.
That's a nice handkerchief for a street rat. Sorry, but I don't accept charity. Especially not from Poverty Jane.
Oh. I was a little caught off guard by his haughty attitude, but nevertheless I promptly retracted my offering.
Who the hell are you anyway?
Who, me? I stopped short and tilted my head in thought. Did he not recognize me? Man is barfing his guts up. I'm surprised he even recognizes Gretel.
Gretel, is this your girlfriend? It's not every day you bring a lady home to meet the family. I didn't bring her. It was Snow White. Snow? That misanthrope. Did he mistake her for a stray dog or something?
I'm not a dog.
Yes, I can see that.
Do you not know who I am? I decided to ask him flat out.
What? Why would I? You think I'm personally acquainted with all the dregs of society?
I was right. He doesn't recognize me.
I think you could stand to be a bit more polite, considering she cleaned up your puke. Oh, right. Sorry about that. Should I pay you for it? Hey, Jane, how much you want?
I don't need your money, thank you.
Guess not, then. Ugh. Damn it, I feel like shit. Give me a drink. Wait, there's one right here.
That's... But before I could stop him, Cinderella took a big swig of the tea I'd originally made for Snow White.
This is good.
Really? Thank you. It had to have been ice cold by now, but evidently he liked it just fine. He chugged the rest of it, then set the cup down and looked back at me.
The hell is this tea? You prepared it? Where did you buy the tea leaves?
Oh, I just used what you had available here.
I've had our tea before, and it does not taste like that.
Well, the flavor can change depending on how you brew it, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Huh.
I couldn't tell if he was actually impressed or simply giving me a perfunctory response. Then he looked me up and down and said,
Say, why don't you work for me?
I couldn't believe it. Who, me? Never in my wildest dreams did I see this coming.
Yeah, you. I've been looking to hire someone, seeing as Snow's useless and Gretel's only good for baking cookies. Well, excuse me, princess.
What a great reference. Mwah. Good job, Gretel.
So, you like to cook?
I do.
What about cleaning? Laundry?
That too.
Then you'll be a good fit. What do you say? Any interest in working here at my cafe? Paid work, of course.
Yes, please. Naturally, I agreed on the spot. This is the perfect undercover cover story for trying to figure out if I still want to marry it. Girl, you know what? If you didn't run away after he came in dead ass drunk and puked all over the floor and you cleaned up after him, I don't know what would make you leave at that point. It was the perfect opportunity. I couldn't possibly pass it up.
All right then. We have ourselves a deal.
The two of us exchanged a high five. All right, we won't shake on it. High five.
What? Are you serious? You're going to hire some random chick you've known for a total of 5 minutes. You've gotta be out of your mind.
Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
I clasped my hands together and batted my lashes. Pretty please. He didn't flinch, but after a moment he let out a long, resigned sigh.
Oh, fine, whatever. It's your cafe, so if that's what you want, then so be it.
Then it's settled.
Thank you so much. We exchanged another high five. Yep, you guys are... You're well on your way to marriage material. Oh, actually, I don't have anywhere to stay.
In that case, you can move into the empty room upstairs, and I'll take the rent out of your check. Sound good?
Works for me. Internally, I did a fist pump. Oh yeah! I'm killing it! This is cute. This actually gives me Locked Heart vibes, this room.
As of tonight, this is your room. Feel free to make yourself at home.
This is my room? Wow! It was an adorable little room, all decked out in pink and white.
Well, don't just stand there. Go on in.
They pushed me inside. The whole room was clean and tidy. Evidently, it saw regular upkeep. Was someone living here recently?
Huh? No, why?
It's just so cute. And fully furnished, too.
Yeah, I guess. You should have everything you need.
Gosh, I almost don't feel right moving into such a lovely room.
Nah, it's no problem. Like I said, the rent will come out of your paycheck anyhow.
Thank you. I couldn't hide my excitement. It was more than I could possibly ask for.
I'm too gracious for my own good, I tell ya.
Personality-wise, he came off as a little aggressive, but maybe deep down he had a heart of gold. Maybe. Honestly, I'd half expected him to dump me in some cobweb-ridden attic or something.
Now that that's out of the way...
He fixed me with a stern look. Yes?
It's time for you to take off those clothes.
When you're gone, right? Girl just straight up asks. Well, you know what? Respect, girl. Just, you know what? Leave nothing unsaid. You want me to repay you with my body? He's like, mwah. Now this was something I really did not see coming. How? He flicked me sharply in the forehead.
I do not want your poverty-stricken body. I'm saying you need to take off that filthy dress before you get in bed.
Oh, right. I looked down at myself. I hadn't noticed until just then, but here under the light, sure enough, there were dirt stains all over my dress. Must have been from when I face planted on my way here. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Wait, are you saying you'd be willing if I wasn't so poor?
What? No! The hell are you even talking about, lady? You want this to be a sex thing?
Not particularly, no.
Then why are we talking about this?
I stared blankly back at him.
Then take off that grimy dress and take a damn bath or something.
Yes, sir.
You'll be working for me starting tomorrow morning. You better be good or else your ass is right back out on the street, got it? And don't you forget it.
Oh my goodness.
Monsieur on desattention.
I gave him my best salute.
Good. That's the spirit.
And with that, Cinderella left the room. Well, I'm getting my Japanese practice in, I guess. Sorry that I've probably offended everyone who knows how Japanese is supposed to be pronounced with my horrible pronunciation. Once he was gone, I could finally let out the laugh I'd been biting back. Everything had worked out more perfectly than I ever could have imagined. Apparently, Cinderella and his brothers had mistaken me for a commoner. Or a street rat, I guess. And now that I was going to be working here, I'd have more than enough opportunity to get to know my prospective fiancé. Thus, I decided I would adopt the persona of Alice the Mysterious Waif in order to learn more about Cinderella. While I couldn't pretend I wasn't worried about Kaguya, part of me was excited for the days ahead. Oh, that's right. I remembered Cinderella's suggestion and undid my corset. After tonight, I was ready to pass out in bed, but first I needed to change into my pajamas. Good thing I decided to bring a few days' worth of clothes, just in case. I wonder what I should do with my dirty laundry. But right as I unzipped my dress and let it fall to my ankles... Why did you not knock? Why did you do this?
Hey, I forgot to tell you. The bathroom's at the end of the hall and to the left. Anyway, now you know. Night.
On second thought, maybe this won't be so easy after all. Not much phases our girl, though, gotta say. Even after that, she's like, well, nothing for it but to go to bed. She didn't, like, scream into the night, die of embarrassment, what have you, so respect. Light shone against my eyelids, and I stirred from my slumber. I sat up and stretched. Oh, right. I moved in with Cinderella last night. I opened the window to let some fresh air into the room. The golden rays of the morning sun felt warm against my skin. All right, let's do this. And so began my new life at the cafe. I wish I was as much a morning person as her. Just like, yeah, let's greet the day. As you know, my name is Alice, and starting today I'll be joining the team. Thanks for having me. That morning I donned my best cheer as we all met up downstairs. I got the sense that there was still some lingering awkwardness from last night, but I decided to ignore it.
A pleasure to have you with us, Alice. I run the kitchen, and Snow White is in charge of the dining area. Now that she's here, I can step down. Okay, then. So we'll have you take over the dining area instead. Sound good?
Sure, no problem. But if it gets busy, I'd appreciate it if you could still help me out. I shot a helpful look at Snow White. Probably not gonna happen. Oh, he nodded! Thanks, thanks. I almost said thanks, girl. Thanks, boy. Thanks, girl. He probably would be very offended. I'm getting maid cafe amnesia vibes from doing this. I'm like, do I have to greet everyone as master and... Was it mistress? Madam? I can't remember now. I've forgotten my training. Apparently, that's a yes.
Looks like you've come to an agreement. Anyway, the job's very simple. If a customer walks in, show them to a table, take their order, and then once it's ready, you'll bring it out to them. Piece of cake.
That's pretty much what I was expecting. Are there any special rules? Do I have to greet each customer in a certain way?
Nope. You're free to interact with them as you see fit. Welcome back, Master, or whatever you prefer.
I knew this was a freaking maid cafe! Where's Orion to help me relearn? I need to relearn.
Oh, but there is one important rule.
What's that?
When I'm baking in the kitchen, you are forbidden to look inside.
Under any circumstances.
Absolutely forbidden.
Why? I tilted my head in confusion, but Gretel shot me an intimidating smile that screamed, "Mind your own business, bitch!" Okay, I'm sorry. Dang, Gretel, why you gotta be so aggro? Okay, I promise not to go into the kitchen. I held my hands up like he had me at gunpoint.
Thank you. Now then, I'll be in the kitchen, so I leave the rest to you and Snow White. See you later.
With a wave, he turned on his heel and began to walk away. Wait! How do I communicate the customer's order to you if I can't go into the kitchen?
Oh, don't worry. There won't be any customers.
He said, as though it were the most obvious thing in the world. What? What? No customers? In the middle of the shopping district? Is that even possible? Okay, but what if we do get a customer?
Even on the off chance someone walks in, there shouldn't be an issue. There are no food items on the menu after all.
What is the point of this cafe then? Wait, hold on. Yeah, this. Naze so nata?
He's right, you know.
Snow White chimed in.
Our menu only has drinks and our dessert of the day, and you can brew the tea yourself right there.
Okay, but...
I'll make the desserts. Once they're ready, I'll call for you. So if anyone tries to order them before they're ready, just tell them it's not available.
In other words, the entire menu was essentially... tea. Well, at least I don't have to make a parfait. One word sprang to mind. Insane. Okay, just to be clear, this is a cafe, right?
Yes. And as the name suggests, we offer our customers a place to drink tea.
You know cafe means coffee in French, right? Are you sure that's all you need?
I understand where you're coming from, but Cinderella's only running this cafe for fun. Thus, the menu only contains items that are within our means to prepare.
What about this siphon coffee maker? I pointed at the appliance that, as far as I could tell, was only there for decoration.
There's no coffee on the menu, but you're free to use it if you wish.
So we can use it, but it's not on the menu.
Correct, which means no one will order it.
You've got a really nice oven in the kitchen, too.
You can use that too. Just not while I'm in the kitchen, of course.
Right.
So there you have it. If you need anything else, just ask Snow White.
Hey, wait! Who's going to clean the... But before I could finish my question, Gretel disappeared back into the kitchen. I looked around at the messy dining area, then back at Snow White. I guess we'll have to handle this mess ourselves. And by that I mean me. Phew. Finished! Finally! I thrust my dust cloth into the air in celebration. We'd taken out the overflowing trash, wiped down all the dusty shelves, and polished the floor with a fresh coat of wax. Now the cafe had been restored to its former glory. Hooray! Now all that's left is the kitchen. I hadn't seen Gretel since this morning. I didn't know what he was up to, but I'd promised him I wouldn't go in there, so there was nothing else I could really do. No sense in pushing my luck. I spun on my heel, and accidentally slammed my elbow against the shelf. Gah! Something fell and I hastily caught it with both hands. That was a close one. I had inadvertently knocked a little glass trinket from the top shelf. It had big round ears and a long thin tail. A mouse? Is this a mouse? It wasn't the most appropriate decoration for a restaurant, in my opinion, but at least it wasn't a real one. Cutie. I put the glass mouse back onto the shelf where I'd found it, then gently ran a finger over it. I didn't know who it belonged to, but I was relieved to see I hadn't broken it. With that crisis averted, I sat down on the counter and turned to Snow White, who was nose deep in a book. No customers, huh? It was just past noon, peak lunchtime hours, and yet the dining area was quiet. No sign of any visitors.
This is how it always is here.
Snow White didn't bother to look up from his book. I laughed dryly. Snow White was a great help to me this morning. In the beginning, anyway. At first, I had him do the dishes, but he kept breaking plates. Then, when I told him to pick up trash, he threw everything into his trash bag, seemingly at random. Eventually, I realized it'd just be faster for me to do everything, so that's what I did. He told me he'd never had to do chores around the house before. Paired with his feeble appearance, he struck me as the little prince type. Naturally, this begs the question, how on earth did this place ever get cleaned before I got here? Oh, that reminds me, where's Cinderella? I'd nearly forgotten our MVP. The entire point of coming here, and working here, was to get to know him. I was so blown away by the idea of a cafe with no customers that I'd momentarily forgotten all about him.
Beats me. He's probably off screwing around somewhere in town.
Like where?
Don't know, don't care.
I decided to change the subject. So, is that a good book?
Meh.
I don't understand why we don't have any customers. I mean, Gretel's such a good baker. Maybe they're intimidated. Or maybe it's because the menu's too limited. Do you think I could add to it, or would I get in trouble?
I don't know. Knock yourself out.
Maybe I shouldn't. Oh, I know. Say, if I made lunch for us, would you eat it?
No. No.
Okay. Would you be opposed to me cooking for everyone?
I don't know how good of a cook you are, but if my brothers are fine with it, then what's stopping you?
Okay, cool. Lastly, do you think they'd mind if I cleaned their rooms or did their laundry?
How should I know? Why bother anyway?
I feel like I need to earn my keep if I'm going to be living here with all of you. At this, finally, Snow White turned to look at me.
You're not a freeloader, you're an employee. Why do more than you're being paid for?
Well, the cafe's so slow I don't feel like I'm really earning my wages, that's all.
Alright. Well, you do you, I guess.
Okay then, I will! Snow White shot me a dubious look as I giggled.
What's so funny?
I'm just really happy that you're talking to me, especially after last night. I thought maybe I upset you. He looked down at the floor.
I have no strong feelings toward you one way or the other. You've given me no reason to like or dislike you.
I see.
I thought you were upset with me, actually.
What? Why would I be upset with you?
Well, specifically because of last night. The tea.
Oh, you mean how you didn't drink it? I wouldn't blame you for being a little skittish. You barely know me, after all.
Not just that. I've been completely useless all day today. I figured you probably saw me as dead weight.
You mean when we were cleaning? He didn't respond. But he didn't go back to his book, either. You're just clumsy. It's not the end of the world. I appreciate your concern, but trust me, it takes a lot more than that to get on my bad side.
Then what about Cinderella?
Snow White looked directly into my eyes. What about him? I blinked back.
Well, how do you feel about him?
Oh. Well, I think he's a very generous man. It was my honest opinion, at least thus far.
You're the only person who's ever said that.
Really? Just me?
Everyone else calls him Cinderella, the arrogant snob with a heart of ash.
A heart of ash?
Yes. Not that I'd expect someone as pure and untainted as you to understand how it feels to be grimy with cinders.
I paused for a moment. How do you respond to Snow White's evaluation of you? I feel like this is too sus? I mean, I'm not on Snow White's route. I can't get on anybody else's route. I'm in Cinderella's world. I think that's how that works. What to do with our ashen boy? I don't think this one. I'm gonna go for this. You think I'm pure? I peered at him.
And untainted, yes.
He responded without hesitation. Aw, thank you. That's so sweet.
You are as innocent as the driven snow, untouched by corruption, pure white.
Now you're talking about yourself, aren't you? Gosh, you're gonna make me blush. Thank you. What about Cinderella, then? You think he's ash gray? Snow White fell silent, and I smiled brightly at him. I like gray, actually. It's a nice dark color, you know. A perfect blend of black and white. If you think about it, gray is just another word for silver, and silver is a precious metal. Ha, instead of the heart of gold, it's silver. Interesting. Even if he does have a heart of ash, like everyone claims, it's just proof that he's been through some rough times. He's a survivor. Besides, I can tell he's not a bad guy. Most people wouldn't hire a stranger off the street, no matter how good their tea was.
Even if he takes one look at your dirty dress and decides you must be a street rat.
Oh, I don't hold that against him. I did kind of look like a hobo last night. Wait. I'm like, yeah, I think Snow's the observant one. Like, he's the very observant one, so he's probably like, I know you're his fiancé. So I'm sussing you out. Something felt off about this conversation. His questions had been rather pointed thus far. Almost like he knew precisely how interested I was in Cinderella. Yeah, that's why I didn't say the other thing. Do you know who I am?
I don't know the first thing about you, but I know you're not who my brother thinks you are. Your speech, your mannerisms, the quality of your clothes. You're obviously from a wealthy family.
I smiled sheepishly. Evidently Snow White was one smart cookie. Do you think Gretel's figured it out too?
Beats me. He doesn't pay much attention unless it's something he's heavily interested in.
Gotcha. What about you?
I don't know who exactly you are or why you're here, but as long as it doesn't negatively impact my life, I couldn't care less.
So you'll keep my secret? He looked away. Thank you, you're an angel!
No, I'm not. And I'm not doing this to help you.
You sure about that? Because I feel like you want to help me. I can see it in your eyes.
I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't judge me based solely on my appearance.
Such a shame. You can manipulate the pants off of someone with those looks. Oh dang, things were going so well. We were doing so well until that moment. Predictably, he scowled.
Are you some kind of wolf in sheep's clothing?
No, that would be Red Riding Hood. That depends. Do I look like a sheep or do I look like a wolf? I smirked mischievously. You don't want to be judged on appearance, but you'll judge me on mine. Hypocrite much? He looked away again and the smirk left my face. People are going to judge you on your looks whether you like it or not. That's just a fact of life. I mean, it's all they have to go on at first, you know? Works the same way in the animal kingdom, too. They evaluate each other on external factors like whose wings are bigger or whose mating call sounds better. But when it comes to us humans, there's more to it than that. For example, over time you can often come to appreciate certain traits that might have put you off at first. The more time you spend with someone, the more your impression of them can change. Because there's more to us than meets the eye, like the Transformers.
Or maybe my brother's just a prick.
Maybe he is. But I think I can come to understand him eventually. As long as he'll give me a chance. And now here I am. So who knows? Maybe fate has already worked its magic. He fell silent, so I pressed on. You know, I've been wondering, why is it that you brought me inside last night?
Just felt like it, that's all.
With that, he got to his feet. Where are you going?
Somewhere I can be alone, hopefully.
And so he walked out of the dining area without a second glance. Alright, I guess I won't be following. Guess I scared him off. Frankly, I was worried that my presence was a burden to Cinderella's younger brothers. I just hope we can get along.
Here is a kid with berries from a cushion with my